to Radio Afric-aye. We're very pleased and fortunate to have Sade today. She's the founder of Taste of Africa and she's a chief executive of Culture's Community Interest Company. Hi, Sade.
Hi, Robert.
Right. Now, it is an opportunity, as I've mentioned to the audience, to our listeners, that is an opportunity for us to have you today. We'll be talking about Taste of Africa, which is one of the greatest festival, one of the biggest festival in the Northeast, based in Teesside. Is that correct?
That is very correct.
Right. The reason we are having you today because very soon we're going to have Taste of Africa. The date is the 8th of October.
Yes, it is. 8th of October.
All right. So now, if it's possible for us, because normally by culture, we always let the invitee, our VIP mark, to introduce himself or herself so that the audience can make sure that you are the right person in the studio. Okay, Sade, it's yours. Introduce yourself, please.
My name is Sade Sangowawa. Everybody calls me Sade. How do I introduce myself? I started Taste of Africa 13 years ago as a way of breaking down stereotypes of black people in Tees Valley and promoting black people, positive role models, and our culture. I'm also the founder of Cultures, a social enterprise based in Tees Valley here, working with people from disadvantaged communities and helping them get into work. I'm married with 3 kids, and I've been living in the Tees Valley now for since 1994. So I've been around a bit.
Right. It shows that you know the place, you know the people, you know the cultures that are part of that space.
Yes.
What I mean, the region itself.
Yes.
That's the reason you are coming up with this program for how many years Taste of Africa have been in place?
This year will be the 13th year of Taste of Africa. That's been, I must confess, that's been supported by the community itself to keep it going. I think everybody still wonders how we managed to keep it going for 13 years, especially living here.
That's true, because that's actually what I'll come with a question like 13 years is massive. A person born, is that reason? 13 years, yeah,
that's true.
A person born and you've got 13 years, you can see he's already a big person. So that shows that this festival have grown big already. I have experienced it myself, nearly to the beginnings of the time that it started. If I can say that.
Oh, yes.
And I have seen it grow because I'm from the same region too. I've seen it grow, and every year that I goes to Taste of Africa, it's just massive. It's just beautiful. Something new. It shows that it has been growing. So what's the secret behind it actually? What did you do? Because it's not easy for many projects that have been set to take its development as Taste of Africa have gone. What's the medicine behind it? If I can use words, medicine. Techniques, secret, expertise, all this. That's what the question is about.
I think one for me, it's passion for what I believe in.
Right.
And passion for fairness and equity. But more importantly, it also speaks volume for the community itself, because it's about the strength in the community and recognizing what we need to do to change perception, to survive, to negotiate, and actually retaining the pride in where we come from. So if you ask me what the secret is, quite a lot of stubbornness and doggedness, because I think almost every year I always say I'm not doing it anymore. But actually, at the end of every event, when we come back to look at it and we see the impact it has in the community, and we talk to people who've been part of it from the beginning, like yourself, who've been part of it at the beginning, and see how it's impacted not only in the community but also with our young people, we say, we go again and again and again. So it's about persistence, it's about determination, it's about having a vision that we know, when we all are no more, we're old and grey, we've left something behind.
Exactly,
that the young people could see and other people could see and take on. Somebody asked me a question once, says, why do you keep doing it? Because when I started, there were lots of people who told me it would not work. and I don't do it doesn't work. I'm just too stubborn.
Yes.
I believe that we should try. If it didn't work, then fine, we'll do something else. But never give up. I never give up. And the people who've been part of the process, which is the interesting thing about this festival, is that people who've been part of it at the beginning are still part of it.
True.
And the running joke is that quite a number of people have grown up, gone on to become mothers, fathers, graduated. People have become actually extremely important in the community who've seen it grown or been part of it. So if I look at it in another way, I think that's why I say there's a strength in the community itself.
Right.
To keep it going. And I think maybe I'm just the I call myself the driver of it. So I have to say it's a collective effort.
True.
To make it work.
Right. It's true. And then if it's a collective for it to work, means that it's a baby given birth by one person but looked after by many. So Taste of Africa is a baby founded by you, but now it's for everybody. It's for the community to come in and join forces. The very important things what we are doing is not only about today. You have mentioned about the younger people that are getting in, chipping in the effort because they can see the inspiration behind it, the way you are inspiring them.
Yes.
Because that's what it's all about. In the community, we must have stand that inspire the younger generation to come. So when we're talking about the younger generation to come, so what is prepared there for the younger people? What is actually attracting the younger people to come into Taste of Africa?
I think when we started in 2004, there weren't a lot of Africans as we see now.
Right.
And a lot of the young people, when we started, we recognized that there were young people who were shy at being associated with being African.
Okay.
And one of the projects we ran then, and I don't know if you remember, Robert, yourself, was called Proud to Be Me.
Exactly, yes.
And we started working with a group of young people.
Yes.
And the idea of Proud to Be Me, where the name came from, is about be proud of who you are.
Voila.
And we took this concept and started working with it and introducing, actually, you need to know yourself. If you don't know yourself, somebody else will define you with a label that isn't yours. But it was an idea that these young people go and research where they come from. They might have been born here or they might have been brought here.
True.
But they need to know where they come from.
Right.
And the offshoot of that was we started informal mentoring, and the kids would do performances on the stage of Taste of Africa as a way of giving them confidence.
Voila.
It was also recognizing that, look, for you to move on in this society that we've come into, you've got to be confident and be yourself. So the idea was wrapped around your identity, yourself, your individuality, your collective culture, and just promoting that. Now, over the years now, most of those young people, as we continue to work with them and they will participate in Taste of Africa, and for me, it wasn't about perfection. It was about, actually, this is ours.
Exactly.
Be who you are. What's happened over the years now is that those kids gradually became more confident about being referred to as Africans.
Graduated. Yes.
And also, they wouldn't wear the clothes then. And gradually, they started putting on the top or they'll put on the wrapper, because we'll do a fashion show about African clothes.
Fantastic.
Now, we're now in a generation where African print and African clothes and African music is in.
Voila.
So these kids have grown through it and become confident, and there's so many from university students. Now most of them are out of uni, they're working, some are married, some are parents, some are still going through it. But what they've managed to develop is that sense of identity and confidence about who they are.
Okay, so it's like it's about the younger ones knowing that Africa is rising. They have to take opportunity of their continent spirit and inspirations. So the festival behind it, there is an inspiration to the younger generation.
You're a good soldier, choosing your battle. Pick yourself up and dust yourself off and back in the saddle. You're on the front line, everyone's watching. You know it's serious, we're getting closer, this isn't over. The pressure's on, you feel it, but you got it all, believe This is Africa. Samina mina, waka waka, Samina mina sakalewa. This time for Africa.
To shine, don't wait in line y vamos por todo. People are raising their expectations. Go on and feed them, this is your moment, no hesitation. Today's your day, feel it. You pave the way, believe it. If you get down, get up, oh, when you get down, get up, Samina, mina, sangalewa. This time for Africa. Samina, mina, waka, waka, Samina, mina, sakalewa, anawa, Samina, mina, waka, waka, Samina, mina, sakalewa. This time for Africa.
I'm well on my journey, biggie, biggie mama, one A to Z. My sister's all on my journey, biggie, biggie mama, from east to west. My city, waka, waka, my waka, waka, my Sangin' since my Zimbabwe, yeah. 'Cause this is Africa.
This time for Africa. Tango, tango, Samina, mina, sakalewa, anawa, tango, tango, Samina, mina, sakalewa, anawa, This time for Africa. This time for Africa. We're all Africa. We're all Africa.
Voila! You've been listening to Radio Afric-aye, and we got Sade in the studio today to talk about it. To talk about the time for Africa. To talk about Taste of Africa, which is attracting all the Africans around the Northeast, the Teesside region, and the whole UK. Why not? Because we are one family integrated in Britain, and we have to know where we are going. Program like this, project like this, festival like this, that's where we meet. We share our culture and we celebrate our being. Sade?
Yes.
Can you tell us about the vision of Taste of Africa? Vision.
Taste of Africa, our vision is to promote African culture all over UK, the positive side of black people and its culture, its people, and everything that is African. Is to see our young people proud to be Africans, is to see Africans proud enough to talk about where they come from, despite the problems, is to see us look at supporting each other with confidence in who we are, what we are, and what we do, so that we're never ashamed, we're never afraid. Wherever we go, we can stand with total confidence and authority as being Africans, because we are a group of amazing people, intelligent, beautiful, culturally and otherwise. Our values are fantastic. They're values that even other cultures will be glad to emulate. So for us, our vision is to take the name of Africa out there and make every person appreciate and celebrate everything Africa.
True. I remember that in everything you do, persistent, resilience is part of the game. For us to have it tomorrow, we have to persist.
Yes.
We have to be very, very resilient.
Yes.
And I'm very pleased, Sade, that you have really been part of that inspiration with that resilience. Because Taste of Africa being 13 years to on the 8th of October, it's not a easy task. That's the reason we are calling up on the younger people. This is your project. This is your day, 18th of October.
8th of October.
Sorry, 8th of October. Thank you very much for correcting me that. I don't know 18 where it's coming from. The 8th of October. What time is the festival starting?
Actually, there are 2 slots. We have between 12 and 2 p.m. We have on the street performance of Afrofusion of different artists on the streets
On the
of
street.
on the streets of Middlesbrough,
Yes.
at town centre.
Okay.
And then we have the street opera in front of Teesside Uni.
All right.
That is between 12 and 2. Then the main event starts at 6 p.m. at the Olympia building at Teesside Uni,
Okay.
which is now an evening of traditional performances, poetry, drama, fashion show, awards, stalls, name it, is happening.
Right. Okay. Now, this is the lineup of the day.
Yeah.
We're going to have different things.
Yes.
Like Sade have mentioned it, there will be a lot of activities happening, and Radio Afric-aye will be taking part anyway, so that we can also put our hands on the pot and then cook together.
Yes.
Because it's part of us, and it's about the community celebrating their culture,
Yes.
the African culture.
Yes.
And we are inviting also everybody to come around, because Africa was not born alone.
Oh,
It
yes.
was born with other. We used to say 5 continents. We say America, Europe, Asia, and Africa. But now the new curriculum have added seven of them now. So we are not born alone. We are 7 in this family, and then Africa is celebrating. We want Europe to be there, we want America to be there, we want Asia to be there. That's fantastic. But now, Sade, can you tell me who are the partners to Taste of Africa? Because 13 years of being in business, 13 years of being there to inspire the generations, it's not an easy thing. So who have been the partners, and who are the partners of Taste of Africa? Did you've got 1? You've got 2? Can we know them actually, so that we can know that these activities that you have been coming up with through this project have also been supported by other organizations or not?
I must confess there have been various organizations over the years. Interestingly, some have come and gone.
Right.
In the process. However, we have certain organizations that have been constant over the years. But first and foremost, it would just be very difficult for me to name individuals, because we have individuals since the very beginning, including yourself, Robert,
Yes.
who've been supportive and be part of it. So
Yes.
there's so many people from the community who are instrumental
Exactly.
to it happening. But in terms of organizations, I must confess that's varied. From Stockton Borough Council, for example, Justice First,
Right.
Northeast Refugee Service, Catalyst, the Congolese community, the Nigerian community, the Ugandan community, Middlesbrough Council.
Right.
At some point, I've also supported. And support sort of comes in various forms,
Exactly,
because people
yes.
think it's always about money, but
not
sometimes
only
it's not
about
always
money.
about money.
Exactly.
People can give you support that is a whole lot more than money.
Voila.
And then we've got also other organizations that are businesses who have contributed. For example, Kilimanjaro, for example, they've been very supportive. Zenith, the Afro-Caribbean shops,
Right.
even, and this is going to sound strange to some people, but not to me,
Yes.
Asian communities have supported.
That's very good.
I mean, I'll give an example. I was at an event a few years ago
Yes.
to go and talk about Taste of Africa.
Yes.
And I sat there quietly waiting during this meeting. And the lady who was going to present before me, after she said 1 or 2 things, then she brought out some flyers.
Right.
And then she said, oh, she's an Asian lady. She said, there's this event going on in Middlesbrough called the Taste of Africa. We should all go and support it.
Ah, that's good.
And she had printed off the flyers
The flight
in
yes.
black and white
All right.
from her office
That's
and distributed it.
Yes.
So here I sat quietly
Right.
and I thought, this is the power of community.
Sound good. Yes.
And then when she finished and they turned to me for me to do a presentation, I actually said, I don't have anything to present. She just did what I was going to do.
Exactly. Yes.
But more importantly is to say that there are other community organizations that are not necessarily African
Yes.
that support our event.
Exactly. Yes.
The BME network, not even only here in Newcastle, in Durham. So we've got so many, in a sense, organizations that support us either by spreading the word, either by having a stall,
Right.
or either by becoming committee members,
Exactly.
because we don't know it all.
Yeah. True.
It's growing. I call it is growing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people
Yes.
come with different ideas to make it better.
Yeah.
So we have had a few over
Yeah.
the
So
years.
it means that if others are trying to give us hands to push the train of Africa. So ourselves Africans, what is our position? Ourselves Africans, are we there to support our own things? What do we need for us to be there? Is it an invitation? Is it I don't know what to say, but this is Test of Africa. Supporting is not only about coming with money. Supporting is in various forms, like Sade have said. Let us be there. Let us contribute to our own project, to our own event, which is to sell out our identities, which is to celebrate our cultures. Please, guys, you are out there. This is Test of Africa. This is Test of Africa. It's about us. It's about us. Celebrating our culture. Let's get together.
Now so Africa man they talk. He goes see you want to way in the make for your own country. He ain't things the way in the do for your own country. He go say he no one time, he no good. The one we come from the other countries outside Africa. Now he good for your own. He be fool. Big fool. Because unless we buy our own thing, unless we do our own thing, we're not gonna make money to be like the other countries outside Africa. That is why we have to do our own things. patronize our own thing so we can be rich like other countries outside Africa. Now, because African man say he no go do his own thing, he no go buy his own thing, I ask him a question in my own language. I ask him a question in my own mother tongue. I go like this. I say, na 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 na, tani mabawa je, tani mabawa je, kila shema lowo la Africa, kila shema lowo la Africa, Africa mara tiwa o, Africa mashe tiwa o, Congo, Baba mi Congo, Congo, iya mi o Congo, Congo, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi o Congo.
Voila! We're talking about Taste of Africa. The Taste of Africa, where we meet every October, every year. It's always around us. This time, it will be on the 8th of October at the Olympia. Is it Olympia?
Yes.
At the Olympia building, which is just behind the library.
Yes, University
of,
Library.
Sade University. Let us get there in a big number. Africa, Taste of Africa is for us. We are integrated in a new society, which is a British society, but we've got culture that we brought in, which we should celebrate, which we should be proud of, and pass that heritage to our younger generation. Obviously, it's about the new generation we're talking about. All this about the new generation. So, Sade, tell me, Taste of Africa, what you've got in place for the new generation.
A key part of what we've been developing over the last few years is working with young people so that they're part of the process and they know how it works. And over the last few years, quite a few years now, a number of the young people who've been part of the project actually have come back to help to develop the project.
That's right.
So quite a number of them are, in one sense, they've gone on to be graduates and they're doing their own things or they're in uni. But every October, by the beginning of the new year, they're coming back and asking what's happening this year.
That's good.
What can we do? So, for example, I'll give you a simple example. The committee this year is full of young people.
Right.
And when I say young people, that's relative because
Exactly,
I'm getting there now, But we're talking about young people from age as young as age 14 to as old as 30.
True, yes.
And above. Actually are involved in the planning of this year's Taste of Africa, and they're actually all going to be key in actually all the behind the scenes on the day as well.
That's very good.
So for us, it's about getting them. I think we've done a good job over the years.
True, yes.
Of all these young people who believe and who feel, no, this is about us.
Exactly.
This is about our heritage. This is about our lives. This is about our identity.
True, yes.
And if this does not happen, what is there?
Exactly.
So they've taken it upon themselves.
True, yes.
And to be honest, they're doing an amazing job. They're bringing new concepts into it.
Fantastic.
New ideas into it. So I think from that can only continue to grow, because as they come back from college, from university, or they're married, they still remember and they come back and ask, what can we do?
Yes.
So I think we've done a good job around that.
Right. Yes, because the reason we are coming on the youth is about culture.
Yes.
It's about identity.
Yes.
People like me and you, we are originally from Africa.
Yes.
So we moved to Britain for our next life,
Yes.
which we are living now.
Yes.
But there is a lot of younger ones that are born through our process being here, and some we have raised them maybe here. They were very, very young.
Yes.
And it's very, very important for us. Project like yours is actually what underline the identities, because when we come together, we celebrate, we pass them the knowledge of Africa.
Yes.
Obviously, we've got the knowledge already of a British society.
Yes.
But we cannot forget about Africa, where we come from.
Yes.
Which is pride
Yes.
to us, integrating to the new society.
Yes.
That's the reason I'm really pointing a lot my question on the youth.
Yes.
What Taste of Africa is doing for the youth, because tomorrow Taste of Africa will no longer be run by us.
No.
We'll be pushing back and letting them take the wheels.
Yes.
So that's why us as a radio, we have to know the younger people, what are they doing? Are they in Taste of Africa? They're still coming? And it's a very good question, and you have answered that. We have built them up. They have gone. They have grown up. Now some of them, they're coming back. So if they are coming back in the program, who's there? Who gonna give a call for the younger ones? Let's talk about the stage. Who's there for the younger one?
I think we underestimate
Because we're gonna have different bands. We're gonna have different activities.
Yeah.
So who are there, like young groups?
Okay.
Yes. Did you get my point? Yeah. Who are they, like a young group that will present that image that younger ones are involved here?
Actually, on the day, it will be
Yes.
pretty obvious to a lot of people because I'll give an example, and it's a known name.
Right.
Bree, for example.
Okay.
Bree Dube. We all fondly call him Bree.
Bree, yes.
Bree grew up in Taste of Africa,
Exactly, yes.
but is a key part of performing and organizing Taste of Africa.
Fantastic.
In terms of presenting on the day, they're actually the young people who have been part of Taste of Africa that are doing the presenting.
That's very good.
Because their own take and their spin on it is different from ours.
Truly,
as we
yes.
get on it.
Truly, yes.
And we have to, as older ones, embrace that.
Exactly, yes.
We have performances by young people.
Truly, yes.
We have a project that we're doing at the moment called Identity.
Exactly.
Who are you?
Yeah.
And one of the reasons for Identity was about working with young people to say, who are you? You mentioned something about kids who are born here. They've probably never been to Africa.
Exactly.
And one of the things while we're doing Identity was we worked with a group of young people and we asked them a question. Where are you from? And they rightfully said they were British.
Yeah.
And there's black kids.
Yes.
So I said, wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I said, but where are your parents from?
Yeah.
And they told me where the parents were from. So I said to them, what do you know about your country?
Yes.
And they looked at me, and the eldest would be probably about 15.
15 years. Right.
And I said, so what do you know about your country?
Yes.
And they could not give me an answer.
Exactly.
Because the perception of Africa that they have, the perception of where they come from that they have is only the bad things.
Not true.
Forgetting that there are two sides to a coin and there are two sides to a story.
Exactly.
So what we then did was I said, look, I want you to come back next week, but all I want you to do is come and do me a presentation on where you came from, where you're from.
That's very good.
So they went away. The following week they came back, and everybody had half a page of positive to say about where they come from that they had not been aware of before.
True.
And the reality to us is, and why the young people are so important,
Exactly.
we like it or not. When you ask a question, where you from, people want to know where you are from originally. Not because they're being rude or they're being mean or they just want to know. And if you cannot, old or young, and I'm more particular about the young people, feel confident to say, actually, I'm an African.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm British born. I'm also an African.
Truly, yes.
And if you don't know anything about where you come from, then you'll get the identity that is given on you. Poor people, always begging for food.
Exactly.
The perception of what they see on the media.
Truly, yes.
But you can stand and say, actually, wait a minute. You want to see the houses in my country?
Yes.
You want to see the beautiful food? And then
Exactly.
once you're able to do that,
True.
then you know who you are.
Truly, truly, yes.
And that's for me, where the passion about the young people comes from, where
Truly, yes.
as they grow up, we came in with the culture, so we can stand up and talk about it. We've got to make them see that everything Africa is not bad.
Exactly.
There's a lot more good
Yes.
than the bad that is portrayed.
Truly, yes.
And they should not feel afraid to say they are Africans, and they should not feel afraid to go back.
Exactly, yes.
Because there are opportunities. We're still talking economics now.
True.
There are more opportunities for businesses and development in African countries.
Yeah.
And it would be a shame if we don't use this avenue to say to young people, wait a minute, you just finished uni.
Yes.
There's work going on in Angola, or there's work going on in Congo, there's work going on in... And they look at you and think, what do you mean Africa?
What do you mean Africa?
But they should be able to say, okay, I'll go as an expatriate for a year or two.
Exactly.
They should have that confidence in who they are,
All right.
where they come from, and their identity, and feel proud
And being free.
as a nation, and feel free
Yes.
and not be clouded by the media reports.
Exactly.
And that's why this celebration is important.
Exactly. Being free is when you know yourself, when you know your identity, you are free.
Yes, you are.
So this platform of Taste of Africa is opening to the younger ones, to the new generation, that spirit, that door of being free, of being proud, being part of Africa. So now, what we can call it? What can we call it? Being free. Express yourself. Be proud of who you are. Taste of Africa. That's what we're talking about. Being free. Younger people have to be proud of who they are. Younger people have to embrace their culture. Younger people have to learn that, okay, we are here, we've got our British culture, we're proud of it, but we are part of Africa also, part of our identity, which we should also celebrate and be happy to present it. That's actually what we are doing at Taste of Africa. So, Sade, we're going to the end now.
Yes.
We're left with few to run with. What can you tell us about Taste of Africa?
I would say Taste of Africa is the pride of Africa.
Voila.
It's what I call the freedom to be who you are.
Voila.
Irrespective of where you live, what you do. Taste of Africa is about freedom.
Of expressing ourselves.
Of expressing who you are. Freedom of celebrating.
Voila.
Our culture that we recognize as being brilliant and vibrant.
Truly, yes.
And expressive.
Truly.
Loud, colorful.
Yes.
But everything that makes Africa beautiful.
Truly, yes.
That is Taste of Africa.
So what are we going to have there, apart from the music, the poetries, and all these, the drums? What else are we going to have there? Because this is sounding very colorful, and it's always beautiful to see African event.
Because it's about promoting positive side of Africa and its culture, you'll also have, part of the event is about also awareness raising.
True.
So we're going to have stalls there,
Yes.
selling different things, different ethnic African jewelry, clothing, beauty, food, everything is going to be there. But
Exactly.
also within that, also we have organizations who are coming in to promote their services to the community.
Right.
Also, the one thing that people always forget is also an evening of dancing,
True. Yes.
and it's of dancing and of music.
Exactly. Yes.
So it's actually an environment somebody calls a good marketplace,
Yes.
where you come there and you meet people you haven't seen in a long time.
That's true.
And you meet people you have, maybe the last time you saw them last was in your country.
Exactly.
And here they are,
Yes.
celebrating and being proud. So Taste of Africa, on the night, you need to be there to experience it.
Exactly.
And for it to have been going on for 13 years, anybody you speak to who's been to Taste of Africa will tell you, you need to be there
Exactly.
to say it.
Yes. So what we were saying there is very, very important. The way it will go on and on until to the end.
Yes.
The way Taste of Africa express itself. The way Africans must be there to have a lovely time. The way Asian must be there to have good time with Africans. The way America must be there to have a good time. The way Europe must be there, as we are part of it as a British society. We must all be there because it's all about Taste of Africa, the 8th of October.
Yes.
What time are we opening the doors? Because we start
The
going
doors
on,
open at 6 o'clock on the dot.
right?
So be there because it's going to be busy.
Are we paying for it to enter?
No, the event is free.
Oh, look
It's
at-
free. Bring family, bring friends, bring young people.
right. Are we expecting to have food? Because African
There's
when
food.
it comes to
There's
food, it's
food.
always a beautiful
Different types of food, actually.
Right.
So be tasting different things.
Right. But okay, apart from Taste of Africa, when we finish with Taste of Africa, what are we expecting next?
The next event is actually called Black History Youth Awards.
Right.
This is celebrating our young people in this community who are doing very well.
Exactly.
It's an opportunity to promote positive role models
Fantastic.
amongst young people, celebrate them, and also using them to encourage other young people
Fantastic.
who might think their situation is so bad.
Yes.
But I'll give you an example quickly. We had a young man a few years back. He came to this country, as a young person, and it was a key part of Taste of Africa.
Truly,
And
yes.
actually, he's doing some presentation this year. But he went on to get a first class in law at Seaside Uni, despite his background.
Wow.
For us, that is what you celebrate,
Exactly.
so that
Achievement.
other young people can see and say, actually, I want to be like that. I can do that as
Inspiring
well.
each other, yes.
Despite my circumstances,
Fantastic.
it is achievable. So the event is an awards dinner. It's on the 21st of October.
24th of October.
21st.
21st, sorry.
Yes, 21st of October.
Yes.
It's from 6 o'clock. However, because it's an awards dinner,
Yes.
people have to pay to get in.
Exactly.
And it's only £25 per
Oh, 25
ticket.
pound per ticket. Okay.
per ticket.
Yeah.
And this is actually towards paying for young people also to be able to be part of the event so that we
That's
can
true.
cover our costs.
Exactly.
However, a key part of the event that I want to mention is the awards, the nominations.
Yes.
We're encouraging Africans and people who work within this African community
Yes.
to nominate young people
Voila.
who are deserving
Yes.
for the awards.
Truly,
Because if we don't do it and we complain that nobody gives us award, nobody
Exactly.
recognizes us, but if we don't put the awards in, we would not get the nomination, we would not get the recognition.
Truly, yes.
And we have to make our young people proud
Exactly.
to be able to stand and say, yeah,
By
actually
recognizing.
I did
Yes,
that.
Exactly.
So what we would encourage is
Yes.
for people to please nominate young people
That's true.
that are contributing to the community they live in. They're doing well in school, they're doing well in enterprise, they're doing well in art. Nominate them.
Exactly. So that's what it's all about.
That is what it's all about.
It's all about celebrating. It's all about inspiring each other, educating each other. That's what it's all about. It's about Taste of Africa. Reminding you that you are listening to Radio Afric-aye. Will be part of Taste of Africa, and you must be there for the dance. Are you ready? Taste of Africa. Voila! You've been listening to Radio Afric-aye, and I've got Sade, the founder of Taste of Africa, the chief executive of a cultural community interest company. The sister, she's here. She's been doing it for us for 13 years. Now is our time for the whole community to be behind our own project. Taste of Africa is for us. Out there, you are listening. Get yourself. It will be on the 8th of October at Olympia, Teesside University, just behind the library. Just when you get into the university, anyway, when you ask where is the Olympia building, they will show you. On the 8th, it will be already showing the colors and all this African stuff will be around. People, they cannot get lost. Voila, as we're still there and talking about Taste of Africa, there's so much Sade have done in the past, and there's so much fight that we have carried through, because like we say, resilience is the very important, is the key to the success. So Sade, tell me, are you thinking one day maybe to postulate? Postulate, it means that maybe to find to push a little bit the level, because we're talking about culture, finding space for the communities, African communities to be inspired, but there is another level. There is another level. You don't think that there is another space for you, maybe because with all this experience that you've got through the years, through your work, through your educations, and all this that you've been putting through for Taste of Africa, you don't think that there's another chamber maybe that to push things so that you can inspire more of the African community in Britain, especially in Teesside? We are. I'm talking about politics.
Yes, there's always another level. There's always another level to move things forward. Part of Taste of Africa is about getting people's voices heard.
Yes.
And making people recognize that a group of people here who are contributing,
exactly.
And they rightfully deserve, to be here and to be recognized.
Yes.
However, to do that, and we're looking at it now, being very frank,
yes.
For things to change, you need to operate at that level of decision making.
Exactly.
And we know that looking at Tees Valley,
yes.
there are very few minorities in decision making position in any local authority.
Yes.
And therefore, where decisions concerning is it a culture, employment, or whatever are made,
yes.
it becomes a problem, because if your voice is not heard,
yes.
It's so easy for people to forget or overlook,
Voilà.
Especially when you're small numbers, so it's easy to marginalize.
Exactly.
Not necessarily intentionally,
yes.
It happens. So for Taste of Africa and for black people, that's why for me it's key that we start to look at how we become part of that decision making process.
Exactly, because
and
we are
elevate. Because we're in the community, we're part of the community.
Exactly.
And actually we are everywhere,
True.
But it needs to go that step higher.
Voilà.
Because if that does not happen, then actually it's just a matter of struggling.
Exactly.
And it's almost like glass ceiling if you look at it in another sense. But we have to, one, as a community, it's twofold. The community itself has to stand up and take responsibility and be able to create time to go to meetings, to become part of strategic partnerships, to become part of key decision making within the community where people can have their voice.
Yes.
Because if you don't have a voice, if you're not there, you can't then complain that people are not doing things that concerns you. You've got to be there. You've got to make the effort. The other side to it also is that in doing that, the powers that be need to create an environment where people can become part of that decision making process. Not a tokenistic effort. Not attend the meeting and I tick the box. No, actually be willing to actually have that inclusiveness of communities within those decision making opportunities. Now, for that to happen, I believe systems have to change. It's as simple as that. But for system to change, I think the community itself needs to fight and have a voice and stand together. Collectively, it's more powerful. Individually, it's a lot of struggle and the change is slower. But collectively, with one voice, with support from each other, we can actually make these changes happen where we are part of decision making that concerns, that affects us. living in Tees Valley. So I think Taste of Africa then becomes, it's part of that process of developing
yes.
people from this community and saying, no, it's not just about coming here, work and go home. It's about actually contributing to that part of where you live through from a strategic point of view. And to be in a strategic point of view, you've got to create the time and be willing to do that.
Thank you very much. So now, for me, to be honest, I can see already me putting my vote for you to be our new MP. Whoa. It is because that's where it's going. That's what we want. When you give your time, you give so much energy, your expertise, you are inspiring a lot. We need you to push also a little bit your chair, because time goes, we're growing, and we need to give more sometime, in a sense.
Yes.
So if you've got that opportunity, I will encourage that. For me personally, I would like to see you standing a little bit again there, and then I'll propaganda for us to put more vote so you can sit more in that seat, a little bit up there, to make our voice be heard. Because we are one of, we may say it, we are a very small community, the African community on the British society, African British society, sort of community, as part of the UK itself. We're very small, and we need our voice to be heard. And then people like you, I think you have inspired a lot through the years. To be honest, I have endorsed you already. I have endorsed you already. Please, I know the courage is there, the inspiration you have already inspired, the resilience you've got it. Please go for it. And Taste of Africa, obviously, is our platform, is our way we always meet to talk about it, to celebrate it. Taste of Africa is our little space, but we have to make it bigger.
Space.
It is a big space. By talking about Taste of Africa, Africa is a big continent.
Yes.
It must stand. Being part of British society, it must stand.
Yes.
So you take it.
I hear you.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Then this is where I will take you so that you can celebrate with us. If you can say with us together, please, because all our VIP invitee, we always make them also to have it, to go with it. So if you can say, you are listening to Radio Afric-aye. So your part is Afric-aye. You are listening to Radio
Afric-aye.
It was wonderful having you. Sisi, can you just give us how they can contact you? Because it's very, very important when we start going to end to know how they can contact, maybe for the future involvement.
To contact us, actually, you could go on the website. If you type in A Taste of Africa Middlesbrough, you get us. Or if you type in www.tasteofafrica.co.uk, you'll find us there. You could also call us if you want to get in touch by phone, 01642 605 838 or 07748 644 864. Our email address is tasteofafrica.teesside@gmail.co.uk.
Fantastic. So now, everybody ready for the 8th of October. We heard Sade have given us everything. 13 years of organizing this program and the way we can get in touch so that us also we can get involved. Maybe in a form of volunteers. There's a lot to do around. Please, the 8th of October, the doors are opening at
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock in the evening.
In the evening.
Right. But before that, we're going to have a parade. So it will be in town, in the middle of the city, Middlesbrough. So everything will be happening. So it will be visible anyway to everybody. And then in the evening, for the party times, for the exchange of culture itself, in the big building of Olympia, we'll be there from 6 o'clock. Thank you very much, Sade, for being part of our time today. We've invited you and you have attended to respond to the community about the Taste of Africa. And us also will be there. Radio Afric-aye will be there anyway. So thank you very much for coming. The time that we have been given is there. Now is for us to let everybody know that it's about everybody. Taste of Africa is about everybody. Everybody to be there. Please, 8th of October, Taste of Africa for all.
seen bul ma gis ma di reer nga foog ni xamuma li nekk ci sama suuf ak sigil bëgguma ku ma xool dal di ne yow li nekk si yow moo ne si man li ne si man mooy di leen jàppale.
Nothing can ruin us. We should be using. I'm the ones who practice wicked charms for the sun and the storm. Bad to the bone. Battle's not over, even when it's won. And when a child is born into this world, it has no concept of the tone the skin is living in. It's not a second,
We're 7 seconds away, just as long as I stay, I'll be waiting. It's not a second, we're 7 seconds away, just as long as I stay, I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting. J'assume les raisons qui nous poussent de changer tout. J'aimerais qu'on oublie le couleur pour qu'ils espèrent. Beaucoup de sentiments, de race qu'il faut qu'ils désespèrent. Je veux les gamins ouverts, les amis pour parler de leur peine, de leur joie pour qu'ils le vivent. Des infos qui ne divisent pas. Changer. 7 seconds away, just as long as I stay, I'll be waiting. It's not a second, we're 7 seconds away, just as long as I stay, I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting.
and when a child is born into this world, it has no concept of the tone the skin is living in. And there's a
Million voices,
and there's a
million voices.
tell you what you should be thinking, so you better sober up for just a second. We're 7 seconds away,
Just as long as I stay, I'll be waiting.
it's not a second.
We're 7 seconds away. Just as long as I stay, I'll be waiting. It's not a second. We're 7 seconds away. Just as long as I stay, I'll be waiting. It's not a second. We're 7